Thanks for staying with us here on TVC Breakfast. It's not time for us to look at what the papers are reporting. The Nation newspaper is the first. Kano quakes with governor. Lawmakers defection to APC. Barao excited by movement into party. Osun quits Exco. The leadership newspaper. Yusuf's deputy faces tough situation over refusal to defect. Ex-deputy governor, my joining APC is for stability. Progress of our state, says Kano governor. Ganduje promises Yusuf automatic ticket. 5 Kano commissioners resign. New Nigerian News Direct. Osun local government crisis. Adeleke APC Algon in war of words over withheld 130 billion naira local government funds. And next is Daily Independent. Finally, military confirms coup plots against Tinubu. Indicted officers to face military judicial panel. Next is this Nigeria. Military confirms failed coup plots against Tinubu. 16 indicted officers to face court-martial. That's according to the defense headquarters. The Punch newspaper. Military investigation ends. Defense headquarters moves to arraign alleged coup plotters. Military finally confirms plot to overthrow Tinubu government. Inside the plot to breach presidential villa security, and defense headquarters await presidential go-ahead for military tribunal. Blueprint newspaper. Alleged coup. 16 indicted officers to face military coup court-martial. Defense headquarters. And Platform Times. 15 million Nigerians use hard drugs. That's according to the NDLEA. The same with the Hope newspaper. Marwa's startling revelation. Indian hemp smokers constitute 75% of Nigeria's drug users. And last but not least is the Sports and Life. Olaino back to his best. Talk about Gary Cahill disclosing there. All right, then I'll be doing this with Olamide, Ria, and indeed Biodeshomi, our in-house analyst. Olamide, let me start off with you. There is this quake happening that has happened in Kano.
Call it a diarrhea.
Absolutely. The same with the leadership newspaper, where you see the incumbent governor of Kano State, moving from the NNPP, which helped him one way or the other, or assisted him to attain that position, but now is moved to the APC. Albeit the deputy is insistent that no, we're not going with you. Even some other commissioners also resign, including Quakes' son. So I don't know how you see this quake. It's not just Kano. We saw that in Delta, we saw that in Bayelsa, even stronger places where PDP had always been dominant in those states.
Very, very well said, Ibrahim. But I think the reason why we're seeing this in Kano State is because Kano has the numbers. Kano is not just a state. Kano is an electoral fortress. It's one of the biggest electoral blocks after Lagos State. So every move that is made politically in Kano is not just local, it is national. It has national consequences. Whoever controls the numbers in Kano State, we know, essentially controls almost the whole of the northern electorate. So that's something to put in context. Another thing is the fact that what I'm seeing here between Kwankwaso and Yusuf, it's an ideology war. We know that Kwankwaso controls the grassroots, he controls the people, he controls the power structures there. But Yusuf currently holds the office, so we wait and see. Is it the masses or the office machinery that is going to win this battle?
What we wonder because the governor met with the president before he went to Turkey, and then the next thing he came and then it defected.
Well,
although he had actually supposed
right?
that he would defect. The same thing with Fubara, the same thing with Borewori, etc. What is it that the president is telling them? What is it that they are finding interesting?
I think I want to be in that room with the president as well. But, straight to business. I feel like Kano is not just any state, and even when we talk about Delta, we talk about other states, but when Kano moves politically, the nation feels it because it's the top state when it comes to voting. Now, this defection diarrhea, we've been talking about it for a very long time. And I tell you, Ibrahim, we're still going to see more defections. But for me, I'm not even speaking about Kano and everything. I'm just worried about what that does to our democracy. Nigeria is not a one-party system. We need value.
No, it's part of democracy. The ability to move from one place to another. Freedom of association.
Yes, but what is happening to our other opposition party? APC is not the only party we have. Also, we need to think about that. We have other opposition. We have, the NNPP, we have the ADC, we have the Labour. But it seems that right about now, those people are not fixing their houses, and that's why everybody is going to the winning party. Yeah. My fear for APC is that you're a party, you're doing very well. It's just like the honey. Everybody wants to come to you. But you now need to be careful, the people you accept, But then for Abba Yusuf coming into the APC, it's a very strategic move. It's a good one for the APC. The APC will jubilate. Absolutely. Although it's a bad one for NNPP, but APC will jubilate because having a sitting governor, you know, of Kano State, we talk about the amount of population that Kano has now joining the APC. It's a good one. It tells that during election, you know, APC will be winning in Kano. Basically, that's what it means. But I just also want to speak about the fact that these defection things, I don't think is very, very good for Nigeria, actually. I think we should have viable opposition. And this is me saying that we need to see other opposition parties do well, fix their house well, like the way we see APC's
but there are other opposition parties. You mentioned the Accord Party. At least we saw Adeleke moving to the Accord Party.
Accord, how well is Accord standing?
We know the AAC, we know the ADC, which is also touting itself as the second force, maybe stronger one. The Labour Party is there. But if you ask some of those who have defected, including the just defected Governor Abba Yusuf, saying that there is crisis in their party, and again, they also do not want to be left behind, with the reforms, economic growth and all of this that this current administration is, is gaining. So we also want to be part of the success story.
Yeah, actually, first and foremost, this is not the first time this is happening in Nigeria. We should remember 2002, 2003, we had a gale of defections to the PDP. And even up to now, I think at that point in time when Obasanjo was in power, we had about 30 or 32 governors in PDP alone. But the country, and
then they boasted that they're going to rule for
50 years.
No, 60 years.
Something like that.
But they didn't do more than 16.
So the bottom line is there's no threat to democracy. This is not new. We've seen how politicians, who are determined to make some progress within their state, who admired any achievement at the center, they feel duty-bound to rally around the man at the center. And again, when you look at the politics in Kano, it's not about whether it is about just poor people versus rich people. No, that's not the case. It's always, it's very dynamic, and it reflects, the nature of Kano itself, being a commercial center, 1, 2, then the nature of politics within Kano. Right from the days of NEPU, Northern Element Progressive Union or People's Union, to the days of Aminu Kano, PRP, People's Redemption Party, on and on to PDP, to APC. So different parties, different tendencies have also tend to represent Kano. But the most important thing is the fact that is people at the grassroots level. What Kwakwanzo did was to capture many of the people at the grassroots level through his Konkwasiya movement. Governor Yusuf happens to be a key member of that movement. Do not forget one thing, that in 2014, Yusuf, defected, and that was when he left for NNPP from APC. So he's gone back home to APC, where he is from originally.
We'll definitely expatiate on that, in our next segment. That's actually going to inform our conversation on the program today. Olamide, let's move on to the Nigerian News Direct, and then Ria, I'll come to you, with the Daily Independent and the like. But if you look at Osun State, Osun local government crisis, Adeleke, APC, Algon in war of words over withheld 130 billion naira local government fund. So this started off in when the Federal High Court nullified the October 2022 local government elections conducted under the Oyetola administration. And then Adeleke came and also brought in his own people to run the affairs. March 2025, Attorney General of the Federation reportedly recommended withholding funds to the local government area. And they asked the question, what happened to over 180 billion that was disbursed to the local government between 183 billion between 2022 and 2024, that you should account for it. So it is forth and back, so it has not led to war of words, among the warring parties, or let me call them belligerent parties.
Absolutely. I think this crisis between ALGON, the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, and Governor Adeleke, what this tells me is that Nigeria is yet to answer a simple question. who controls the local government? Is it the governor? Is it the state? Or our local government?
It's a tier of the government, exactly. So it stands on its own.
Or our local government autonomous? Because we know
right.
that there was a Supreme Court ruling that said that funds should now be dispersed directly to local governments.
And
I don't know why, yet as a Supreme Court, I don't know why Osun State should be any different. But it's very important to note that local governments they should ideally be autonomous. They understand the people, they understand the pulse of the state, and so ideally, although there should be accountability measures put in place on where those funds are going.
That's right.
Governor Adeleke is saying, I withheld these funds are being withheld because legality and due process. But APC is framing it as punishment. Which one is it? Either way, people are suffering, roads are not being built, infrastructure is stalling in that state. As Governor Adeleke has now moved to I believe the Accord Party, right now I think he should be focused on 2027 if he wants to come back. This back and forth.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
All right then, Ria, let's move on to the Daily Independent. The same thing with this Nigeria and the Punch newspaper. Even the same with the Blueprint newspaper, and I believe that Mr. Shomi will also want to talk about this. We talked about it yesterday. Finally, military confirms coup plot against Tinubu, indicted officers to face military judicial panel. 16 of them who are indicted planned to attack or strike on October the 1st last year, attacking the president, the vice president, the Senate president, etc. That is something that could be referred to as not just felony, but treasonable felony, which is very, very grave in the Nigeria Criminal Act.
And when we say finally, that finally means a whole lot in this phrase, because there were a lot of speculations.
Absolutely.
People were not sure, was it going to happen? Is the news fake? Is the news not fake? But just finding out that, that could have happened is quite scary for me. Looking at a country like Nigeria, I feel like sometimes we do not understand what a coup does to a country. The people that are trying to say that, let there be a coup, do you know the aftermath of a coup? Jobs will be lost, the economy is going to go down. And I feel like Nigerians as well, we speak about, being patriotic, but we're not. We said it on this table yesterday that if you do not like the current government, you're not okay with the current government. It has nothing to do with Nigeria. You do not want to destroy Nigeria. Nobody stays in power forever. Power is transient. This person will not be the president again after some point. So why would you try to now disrupt public peace, disrupt the economic growth of Nigeria? I know Mr. Shomi will share more on this, but I feel like the people that, that have been caught, I know that they'll be indicted. They need to really face the words of the law. They need to answer questions. Who is the person that sent them? We need to understand how this whole thing began in the first place.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you also helped us understand, what actually happened, the backstory and all of that, even though it was denied earlier. I think the aim thing for security thing is just to deny first, do your investigation and come back and say, that thing that we said, no, it's actually true. So 16 of them, what were they thinking? Did they think that by the time they take over the government, the entire Nigerian nation, of almost 250 million population would, accede to them? Because you can only control Abuja. You may not be able to control the rest of the states.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to take it from where Ria stopped.
That's right.
Who actually instigated them to do that? You go back to 2023, when Tinubu won the election, we had people, going to Abuja, top politicians today who are claiming to be Democrats, to fighting for democracy. They went to Abuja and openly called for coup in Nigeria, just to ensure that, to truncate the democratic experiment and ensure that Tinubu will not become the governor. The president of
during that time, maybe they went to some pastors and they were also prophesying that based on what they are seeing, that the current president would not attain that position.
Absolutely.
And what happened belied their prophecy.
So since then, they've been on this agenda. Now, many of them thought with the introduction of the fiscal reforms, they felt, the government will be so unpopular that it will collapse over seasons of strikes. That again did not happen. What we have seen is a regime that has managed the industrial relations of this country better than any other
diplomatically
in history. Yeah, there are no
internationally strikes. Because they're also calling for Trump's invasion and all
absolutely.
Of that. And
it's part of the scheme. That is part of the plot. Now you have Nigerians, including the chairman of a political party, openly calling for a coup in this country, or invasion by the Americans. So you can imagine. So it's like a playbook. They're acting a script, up to the point of now wanting to strike directly last October 1st. They were planning something that looked like the Egyptian, if you remember the case of Anwar Sadat, I can't remember precisely, 1979, when Anwar Sadat, the then president of Egypt, was killed during a national parade. So these are the issues which they thought they could achieve. But unfortunately for them, they did say the alarm bell ringing since 2023. That was enough warning for the military.
Absolutely.
What we have seen going on now is a reaffirmation of the loyalty of the military, the Nigerian military, to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Commander-in-Chief.
I think we should just give kudos to the authority, running the affairs of this country, not just, a battle within, they're also fighting, battle from outside, those who are calling for invasion and all of that. But then it's something that we'll definitely, keep talking on.
And I'm very happy, very quickly, Ibrahim, that Mr. Shomi said, they are showing a loyalty, not to the president, let's not get it twisted, to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I really hope that they are tried underneath the Armed Forces Act and not civil court. And I hope that military court is brutal.
And I think treason is actually punished by death. Treasonable felony is punished by life imprisonment. So whatever is what's it called, charges, or any punishment that will be meted out against them should be done.
Exactly, but Ibrahim also, they need to investigate and find out who are the people that sponsor.
That's why they gave us 16 of them.
No, but the 16 of them, who are they working for?
Don't forget two former governors. Two former governors who are alleged to be involved in this,
and even the NDDC.
We need to find out who
money that's supposed to
who are those governors, former governors, actually working for. We need to get to the bottom of this. I mean, it's quite very important for our national security.
All right, then. Let's move on to the Platform Times. I think the same thing with the Hope newspaper. Platform Times is saying that 15 million Nigerians use hard drugs. NDLEA said that. And then the same thing with the Hope newspaper. Indian hemp smokers constitute 75% of Nigeria's drug users. I don't know why they call it Indian hemp anyway, because I know cannabis sativa belongs to the European. Cannabis Odika belongs to India.
Ibrahim, this is the morning show. Let's all calm down.
but then, I think legally we refer to it as Indian hemp. But it's so sad that we now find women, young youth, people in the rural area, even on the island, everywhere. People are abusing this. Is it because of the proliferation of it?
Indeed, Ibrahim, these figures are not, they're not startling to me at all. 75% of Nigerians are addicted to hard drugs. And about, what's the other figure? 18 million, how many Nigerians? 15 million Nigerians are using hard drugs. It doesn't surprise me at all because we need to reframe our conversations and our conceptualization of what addiction means. When we start to understand and move from the model, from addiction as a disease, addiction as a choice to addiction as a disease, we will make some headway in the fight against hard drugs. Currently, Nigerians think addiction is a choice. Just get off it. Work hard, focus, pray to God, and your addiction will go away. Whereas addiction is actually a disease. What happens in your brain centers is that your brain is hijacked by this dopamine use of drugs. And so you're unable to stop. We need to reframe what we think is addiction so that we can start to tackle this menace. Addiction is not a choice. Addiction is a disease, and we must treat it as such. Put the healthcare in place, the rehabilitation in place, and infrastructure that helps us treat it like a disease. And I promise those numbers will go down. And quickly, when we look at that number, 15 million, I tell you, it means that one of every 10 person is actually on drugs. That's actually what it means. And Olamide, oftentimes when you speak to these people that take drugs, I'm taking this to another angle. I think that our youths, we need to keep them busy, because when we say, I'm not justifying anybody taking drugs, but sometimes an idle mind is a devil's workshop. Oftentimes these people do not have.
No, you'll be surprised that some people who are also gainfully employed.
Yes, they're functional.
Yes,
but I want to speak about the less privileged.
I've seen people selling cakes in the workplaces.
For me now, I want to speak about the less privileged. Those people that feel like there's no hope for tomorrow. Those people that take drugs just to live on because they do not want to
escape the reality.
They want to escape the reality. I think that our youths, we need to give them more job opportunities. Like, a lot of youths have also lost hope. Like, nothing is going to happen. Let me just keep taking drugs and, let my life just go to an end. And also, we need to provide rehabilitation centers, not the ones that are so expensive that people cannot afford. If we can even get free rehabilitation centers for people that have been taking drugs, let them be taken care of. Because like Olamide said, it's a disease. They do not have power over themselves anymore.
We have just about a minute to wrap up this segment. And they said that 243 users rehabilitated, 62 convictions secured in 2025. But that's just like a drop in the ocean.
Absolutely. It's like a drop in the ocean. And the fact of the matter is we need to improve on the services we provide, for our people. We need to look at even the correctional system. We need to look at the criminal justice system to ensure that we can ensure faster delivery of justice to all. It's quite very important for our country.
Absolutely.
And it's also about equity, If you want equity, you come with a clean hand. If you have a very fast justice delivery system, then you can at least ensure a sense of balance within society.
Say no to drugs.
Those who are
Say no
supposed to
to
carry
drugs.
out, those who are supposed to carry out the stuff, they should not also use drug. You can't be high and seeking to arrest someone who is also high.
Government should also provide rehabilitation services within the
facilities
country.
and all
I
of
mean,
that.
at the level of state government, a lot can be done.
We should
Yeah.
go now.
A
The
whole
Sporting Life saying Gary Cahill discloses Olaina back to his best. Super Eagles #1 shirt, Nwambali needs challenge, says Ikpeba. Okay, interesting. But then that's about it for the newspapers up for review. Still ahead on TVC Breakfast, APC welcomes Governor Yusuf as NNPP accuses him of betrayal, vows to face judgment. Just stay with us. We'll be right back.